Killing Slomo by Doctor. I'll tell you about that credential, particularly in his case, later. Dr. William O'Idiot, or Odiot. I'm not sure, it might be French. Kind of a French Irish thing. It's very hard to pronounce if you're just an ordinary person that doesn't, spend a whole lot of time working on names and ancient dialects. But anyway, this is actually an alert. This is an alert because William O'Idiot works here at this syndicate. So he's been wearing two hats. He's been bringing you the news, he and some other people, and he's also been reading chapter after chapter in this book, Killing Slomo, which he is writing as he goes along. Anyway, to continue where we were, as you recall, one assassin had made an attempt to kill Slomo, one of the Hillary assassins. He come at him with a very deadly pair of brass knuckles to hit Slomo right between the eyes, but Slomo very alertly skated to the right side, and the whole thing ended peacefully, and this fellow ran off into the streets, disappeared. The police have been notified, but they say they can do nothing. Their hands are tied from higher up. So we doubt that there's any kind of dragnet trying to get this guy. But his problem is not Slomo or Slomo's undercover. We don't really take revenge as a rule on people that try to make a hit on Slomo. We let them run out there, and usually they're killed by their boss. And we think that Hillary will probably have that fella hunted down, and he'll meet a fate that's worse than what would come to him by way of Slomo's undercovers. I started to say fans. Well, anyway, that's not the news. The news is that Hillary has instructed her people, a bunch of janitors that move this thing around, medical janitors, worked in hospitals as janitors, so she hired them. She ordered them to wheel her out to the parking lot in the Iron Lung, into the parking lot of the hospital, and indeed, she had made a couple of phone calls that we didn't know about, and now the Iron Lung has been hooked up to the back of a Ford, I think it's a Ford 250, maybe one of the, I'm not sure because some of it we couldn't tell, but it's one of those heavier Fords. It's not a little Tacoma. It is a Ford, we're pretty sure, and it's black. And actually it matches to some extent the kind of the steel gray of the Iron Lung, which she is still in. As we saw them push it around, it can move. It's got four wheels, and it hooked right onto the back of the pickup truck with a bumper, one of those. Actually, one of the good kind. So they've got lights and everything. So now, as I told you in a previous description of this Iron Lung, although it's the most advanced one, and Hillary, of course, wants only the best to keep herself alive until she sees or learns that Slomo's dead. But the problem is when she's lying on her back, face up, in this Iron Lung, and it's hooked to the back of the pickup truck, her legs are actually from the hips down, or extended out the back of the Iron Lung, so that in a way she's looking. If she would sit up just a little bit in the Iron Lung, she'd be able to see the traffic and the highway disappearing behind her because she'd be looking back. The only problem is her legs were hanging straight down. You remember there was nothing, they didn't make the thing long enough so that a person could actually lie completely face up, you know, which is supine. She's lying supine, but her legs are hanging out and her feet are can actually touch the concrete. So they have to wheel this. It's like a wheelchair that's been kind of attached by some cables and things. It looks quite unsteady, that she can rest her legs up so she can be lying totally supine as she thunders down the highway across the country, because this iron lung, they did a psyop, made you think that she was in Las Vegas. Actually, she is in the parking lot right at this moment outside Bellevue Hospital, and she's getting saddled up with this pickup truck. She's got some people that are going to ride in that part right behind the seat. And this iron lung, it looks like they're trying to back the thing up and get it and leave, you know. And by golly, I can see now the fellow knows how to back up a trailer. Now the wheelchair doesn't look very steady from here, but off they go into the street and around the corner. And they'll be going down to the freeway, and we'll track them across the United States. As this is an obvious determined Hillary Clinton. She's going to, no matter what it takes, she herself is going to replace the assassin that was kind of ran off into the streets after making a dodge at Slomo and failing. So she's coming. Now, it may take about 3 days for her to cross here. And Slomo has probably already got wind. As a matter of fact, I know he does, because O'Keefe, he's one of our workers, one of our legions. O'Keefe, the anonymous, Alex, of course, tells us all what to do, but he's in a dungeon underneath the White House. The real Alex, they've got a look-alike that came, a fat guy that grew up in Dallas, you know, and he's a liberal trying to fake, because he went to drama school like all the crisis actors. He went to special crisis acting drama school. So in case the globalists win this election, which they will definitely do, if they don't not rig it, which is, they haven't made a final decision. They have about a day ahead. If they decide not to rig it, they're going to let it fall, see, because everybody with a brain knows that if Trump doesn't win, there's going to be a real serious uprising. Hillary won't be able to rule the country, because it will have been rigged by criminals. Anyway, that's Slomo news, and Slomo's alive and well, but Hillary herself is coming across, even though she's in an iron lung. She's being pulled by a Ford, I think it's a Ford 250, maybe one of those big diesels with a double. But it's being pulled, thundering down probably out on the freeway outside of New York by now, going under some of the tunnels. And you know it's very bouncy. And of course she's got to keep her feet up on the wheelchair that's been attached. And of course she can, if she gets tired of doing that, she can sit up and kind of sit up with the wheelchair and put her legs between the wheelchair and the back of the iron lung. Yeah, but she'd have to keep her feet dorsiflexed in order, because if it would thump like that on the freeway going by a rock or something, it wouldn't behoove her. That is, this is enough trouble as it is. But you have to admire the determination of that lady. Like Trump says, she's got a lot of fight in her. If you just have to admit that there's something positive, it would be that she's got a lot of fight. Well, this is Slomo. Over and out. Of course, I don't approve this message. It's up in reverse. That is, I do approve it. I approve it totally.